There is Pekka. He says, I'm sorry, but the peace through strength crowd expecting Trump to resist Putin was delusional from the start. Here's why. Trump has been pro-Russia since the 70s, and his son said they made a lot of money from Russia. Russians helped Trump win the presidency in 2016. Yes, they did. Trump sucked up to Putin already back in 2018. Yes, and even gave classified information to Lavrov. Trump despises Zelensky because he didn't provide any dirt on the Bidens about the Burisma case in 2019. Trump lifted sanctions against the Russian oligarchs and wanted to invite Russia back to G7 in 2019. Yep, Trump stole 400 million aid and Javelin sales to Ukraine. Trump and Mike Johnson stalled Ukraine aid for 7 months in Congress. Trump administration is full of pro-Kremlin actors who have blamed NATO and Ukraine for the war, including Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., JD Vance, and of course Kash Patel as well. Trump has never criticized Putin, yet he calls Zelensky a dictator. Yes, he has. I mean, last week we went into this. How, was Trump recruited by the KGB, which some defectors, KGB defectors actually said that is a real possibility. And even at this negotiation here, this talk, there was someone named Dmitry Rybolovlev, the guy Trump sold his mansion to in 2008 for 3 times the value at $95 million, in effect bailing Trump out of looming bankruptcy. Now we went into this, how, for example, this guy said that he worked for the 6th Department of the KGB of the USSR in Moscow, and that he recruited the 40-year-old businessman from the USA, Donald Trump, nicknamed Kashnov. Now Yuri Shvets said something similar. So here was Yuri Shvets, who said that Trump married Czech model Ivana Tselnikova and became the target of Soviet and Czechoslovak intelligence services. You know how he opened his first hotel and met Soviet emigre Kishlin, who was allegedly an undercover agent. In 87, he visited Moscow and Leningrad, where KGB agents convinced him to go into politics, etc. I mean, you can look back at this clip here if you want more information. And of course, there's Dmitry Symes as well, who actually was a Trump campaign advisor and is a friend of Dugin. But Navrazov here said, I submit one simple thought to you. If Trump had been a KGB FSB agent, he would never have dared to be as transparently pro-Kremlin as he is. And the Kremlin wouldn't have let him. Now, for those who don't know Navrazov, he is one of the first people to shout it off the rooftops in the West that perestroika was indeed a deception. And here he says as well, Trump a KGB agent, new video from Russian intelligence defector. Well worth watching, especially the last part, but I have a caveat. I've always believed that if Trump were an actual FSB agent, he would have never dared to side with the Kremlin as brazenly as he does. Someone says, wasn't Keir Starmer in a Czechoslovakian war camp? Yep, yes he was. So he says especially the last part. Now, we've covered most of the rest last week already, but this part is pretty interesting indeed.
In 2015 to 16, Pochenkin introduced her to Oleg Deripaska's personal security. She became
So he's talking about this female security guard here.
The oligarch's personal bodyguard, with the same function of carrying out personal and most important assignments. Deripaska took her to the United States, and it was after the meeting between Donald Trump and Putin on July 16, 2018, in Helsinki that this lady strangely found herself in the personal security of the US president. I believe that this transfer was planned in advance and
Isn't that something?
What a coincidence.
This woman here used to work for Oleg Deripaska. Now, I've mentioned this guy's name so many times because he is involved in so many things. He's also a big friend of Nathaniel Rothschild, who's the head of the Rothschild family at the moment.
Agreed upon by Pochenkin with Putin himself. Oleg Deripaska was just a transmission link in this castling. Thus, Putin and Pochenkin received the most devoted eyes and ears in close proximity to President Donald Trump. Since then, this lady has been following Trump like a faithful shadow. She was also in Mar-a-Lago, and one can only guess what top-secret documents taken out of the White House she had unhindered access to. I have no doubt that she had enough time to copy and pass on to her master Pochenkin everything that interested the main character, Putin. I am sure that this theft of documents was a pre-planned and well-executed operation of the Kremlin special services, and the very participation of this strange female security guard in the active event with shooting at Trump's ears gives reason to believe that we are dealing with an unprecedented interference of a hostile state in the presidential elections in the US.
You don't say. I mean, imagine that. More and more defectors are coming out. saying that they highly suspect Donald Trump working with the KGB. And Navrazov is actually very skeptical of this as well. He says that Trump is so blatantly pro-Kremlin that he actually finds it hard to believe that he is a KGB agent, because that would be, something highly unusual because it's too transparent.
Those defected KGB officers, they better stay away from high windows.
Yeah, exactly. They might slip on a banana peel and fall out, yeah.
I will note that it was this story with the assassination attempt that affected Trump's rating, consequently, and the outcome of the vote. It is difficult to believe precisely, because this story is unprecedented, but it only seems incredible. The current active measures carried out by Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and their other associates to destroy security community and army, to destroy NATO and break relations with European countries.
I mean, this is what we've been saying all this time. Now the factor is saying this too. Like, how much more obvious can this be? Like, it's so in your face and people do not want to admit this. I don't think Trump is an actual agent. I think he's not smart enough for that. But I think he's absolutely a stooge, a useful idiot for the KGB, FSB. Yes, I absolutely think so.
Correspond to the plans of Putin, who wants to weaken the political and military alliance in European countries and ultimately destroy NATO and the European Union. Putin dreams of restoring the geopolitical influence of the USSR and raves about conquering all of Europe, something Joseph Stalin dreamed of but never achieved.
I mean, can people just finally start taking these KGB guys seriously? I mean, they left the KGB for a reason. They know how evil all of this is.
Right.
And I will be on a show soon called Endeavor News, and I would highly recommend checking out their channel and their video with Navrazov. And they also had an episode with Jeff Nyquist, who also has been researching the whole perestroika deception for decades now.
Unfortunately, these goals can be achieved with the help of those active measures, the templates of which I have described. Deep down, I hope to reach the consciousness of European politicians and the heads of European intelligence services who are capable of preventing this madness.
Exactly, that is the way to go about this. Reach people who actually have the influence to change these things.
We still have some time, but it is catastrophically short. End of communication.
Yeah, I am afraid so as well. Like, this is really getting out of hand. Like, the schism that Trump is creating between Europe and the US is really of tremendous importance to the Kremlin, really. It's really unbelievable. Like, everything that we spoke of months ago is all coming to fruition. All these people with all these same talking points as always, like Tulsi Gabbard, who is friends with Jackson Hinkle of all people.
That's right.
Like, I don't understand how people can't see this, really.
Yeah, that's a serious problem.
Yeah. I mean, here again, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov says the Trump administration's foreign policy largely coincides with our vision. Largely, I mean, it exactly coincides with everything you guys want to achieve, everything that Dugin is bragging about all the time. Like, it's extremely worrisome. So now as well, the Trump administration has publicly and privately signaled that it does not believe Russia represents a cyber threat against US national security or critical infrastructure. I mean, if you know that Israel and Russia are absolutely allies working together nonstop, if you know how much influence Israel has over your critical infrastructure, man.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
And of course, you're not going to stop Israeli cyber threats either, because you guys are constantly sucking up to Israel as well. So Ludic Pass says first they dismantle FARA and now this. I mean, they're dismantling everything that opposes foreign influence, it seems. This is not a negotiation tactic. They legitimately believe Russia is a good faith actor while their allies are bad. Incredible. Yes. Yes, it is. Here, the Pentagon ordered the US Cyber Command to stop all operations against Russia. So here